What are the real benefits of owning a house, or the secret or the hidden benefits of owning a house? I'm going to talk about 3 emotional benefits and 3 financial benefits of owning a house. Hi, I'm Mike Patel with First Team Real Estate right here in Anaheim Hills, California. There are 3 things in life we most want, or all of us need, and that is food, shelter, and clothing. And when it comes to shelter, you can either buy a house or you can rent a house. Either one is fine. Nothing wrong with renting, nothing wrong with buying, but there are distinct advantages of buying versus renting. And I'm not going to talk about renting at all today. I'm going to talk just about buying a house and what are the benefits. So let's get right into the benefits of owning a house, or for that matter, a rental property. Buying a house is an American dream. A lot of the buyers struggle to buy a house or save up to buy a house. They have to start saving 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years before they want to buy. Then they have to take care of their credit ratios and the debt ratios. So it's a struggle today to buy, but it is an American dream. And people would do anything to buy a house. And once you buy the house, here are the benefits. So let's start with the emotional benefit. The first benefit is what I said is an emotional benefit. You feel a sense of accomplishment that you have finally owned a house. This is a house that you own, nobody can take it away, and you have come a long way to own a house. So that's the number one benefit of owning a house. Other than just a roof over your head, it's a sense of accomplishment, especially in today, 2022, when the price is so high, everything else is so expensive. So when you do buy a house, that's a big accomplishment. And also remember that one of the biggest transactions or one of the biggest investment a typical American makes today is in their house, not a rental property or not stocks or not big companies, but it's their house. So when you end up buying a house, it's a big accomplishment. You should congratulate yourself. The second thing about owning a house is that you own your own space. When you rent, you don't own your space. You have restrictions, what you can do. You cannot do things, maybe you cannot paint things, you cannot do things in the yard. But when you own your house, that's your own space. You own it, you can do whatever you want with it, of course within city guidelines and HOA guidelines, which is the Homeowners Association. But this is your property. Do whatever you want with it, paint the color you want with it, do the yard you want with it, add a barbecue or add a pool. You don't have to ask anybody. It is yours to keep. It is yours to decide. You don't have to ask anyone. It's your own space. And that's a lot of benefits, because a lot of times you have a lot of restrictions. You can't do anything. And the other thing is nobody can kick you out. Nobody can give you a notice that you have to move in 30 days or move out in 20 days or in 2 months. It's your house. You stay as long as you want and you do whatever you want with your house. And the third emotional benefit of owning a house or a property is that the more you own the property, the more the value of the house goes up without you doing anything. They say patience is a virtue. Well, for not doing anything, your house value is going to grow over the long term. Of course, there are stats out there and there's a facts that on average, when you buy a house over 20-30 year period, your house is going to increase in value 4% per year on average. So maybe you bought something at a high time, it may go drop for a few years, then it's going to come back up. Or you may have bought it at a low time, got a good deal, then you have an advantage. It's going to go up faster and faster. So the advantage is that without you doing anything, just staying there for years and just doing your work and just paying your monthly mortgage payment, the nature or the housing gods are going to increase your value of your home by 4%. In fact, I'll give you an example. I was talking to an agent friend of mine. He just is retiring at the end of 2022 in December. He's almost 70 years old. He's worked in this business for 35 years. And he said, I'm going to retire. I only need $5,000 or $6,000 to retire. And I'm glad I bought my house 30 years ago. And as we were talking, I asked him, hey, what's your house worth today? He said, thank God I paid my dues every month. I was never late. I never refinanced. And my house is worth, in today's market, over $2.2 million. Of course, he did not pay that much in 20, 30 years ago. He probably paid $400,000 if I had to guess. But today it's worth 2.2. It's fully paid off. Then he goes to tell me that, you know what, the good thing I feel good about is not only that my house is paid off, $2.2 million worth of equity in the house, but if something ever happens to me, because he's by himself, he does not have a wife anymore, if something happens to me in medical emergency or something happens in health, the kids can take out equity from my house and pay for my health care costs for the next 10 years, 15 years, and he should not have any problem. So the benefit that he had is that when he bought the house, of course he worked hard to buy the house, he worked hard to pay off the mortgage. Now he has so much equity, he can stay in there, it's the way he has it, it's totally remodeled, he owes nothing on it, but he's sitting on a gold mine called equity that his kids can use in case of emergency, or for that matter, he can use it to go on vacation, etc. if he needs to, but he has enough money saved up to go on vacation, take cruises, etc. So he's enjoying a life. It's because he bought a house. He does not worry about paying rent every month, which could be $4,000 a month today. Where was he going to get $4,000 a month rent if he did not buy the house? So that's a big advantage. Hope you consider buying. If you need any help with any questions, let me know. I'll be glad to help you or refer you. And let's continue with the financial advantage of owning a home. By the way, thanks for coming to my channel. If you watch my channel or if you are here for the first time, I would appreciate if you can subscribe to my channel. Just hit that like button and share if you can, and also make some comments on what you feel are the benefits of owning a home. So again, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. I'm also going to put up a video right here and also towards the end where you can see some more videos, and this video is about the ridiculous tips on buying a house. So the number one financial benefit of owning a house, whether it's your own home or rental property, is that you gain equity. Of course, we talked earlier about equity, but there's two ways to grow equity. One is just by waiting and doing nothing, but the second way is the difference between the renting and owning. It comes now is that when you rent, and let's say your rent is $4,000 a month, when you pay to the landlord, you're paying the landlord's mortgage and you have no benefit. But when you own a house and every month that you pay, like I said, about $4,000 a month in mortgage payment, a lot of that payment, let's say $2,500 a month on average, goes towards your principal. So every month that you pay your mortgage, you are reducing your equity in your house. So if you bought your house for $500,000 and your loan is $400,000, then every month you pay, you are reducing your debt on the house by $2,500 a month on average, and that's just an example. So the financial benefit, number one, is that every time you make a payment, you're cutting your debt and increasing your equity. Hope that makes sense, which is different than the equity earlier that I talked about, where your home price is rising just because they're supposed to rise, or that's what real estate does. So there's two ways to gain equity. One is just be patient and you will get your equity. The second way is every time you make a payment, or if you make faster payments, you'll build faster equity. The second financial advantage of owning a house is that you get tax benefits of owning a house or owning a property. Of course, I'm not an accountant or a CPA, so if you have any specific questions about tax or anything legal, please contact your professional. But I do want to mention that when you own a house or when you buy a house, you have a lot of deductions which you don't have when you rent. Some of the deductions are all the closing costs, or some of the closing costs when you buy a house are deductible, and you get tax write-offs for your property tax and your interest rates if it's your own house or you own a house as a residence. But if you buy a property as a rental, you have a lot of other tax advantages like depreciation, and when you sell your house to make a profit, you can have a 1031 exchange. So these are the tax benefits that you have, and you did not buy the house for tax benefits, but you do get those. So I would buy a house not only for shelter as we talked about, but also as a tax benefit. A lot of the investors, a lot of the people who buy commercial property, one of their goals is to save money by reducing their taxes, and one way to do it is they buy property and they have ways of reducing your taxes. So that's a big advantage. The third financial advantage of owning a house or rental property is, I'm going to call it a sweat equity. We talked about equity, it's a big thing. This is what I'm going to call a sweat equity. When you buy a house, and if you're going to stay there for 20, 30, 40 years, then of course, house needs maintenance like anything else. Our body needs maintenance. We have to go to the gym, or we have to walk, or we have to run. We have to eat proper food. It costs money to survive today. Same thing with a house. You're going to have to fix things. You're going to have to replace the filter. You're going to have to put manure in the yard. If you have a yard, you have to cut grass. You have to plant and all that. Your windows get old. You have to change them. Your paint gets old, you paint it. Your style gets old, your kitchen may be older after 10 years, you're gonna remodel it. Every time you do that, you are increasing the value of your home, and yet you're doing it for your lifestyle. You're not changing the stove because you wanna grow equity. You're changing your stove, or buying a new refrigerator, or buying washer dryers, or buying a new air conditioning to improve your lifestyle, to be more efficient. But by doing that, you're building equity in the house, because every time you improve your home, whether it's one thing at a time, time, change the faucet, change the sink, change the bathtub. You're increasing the value of your home. That's what we call sweat equity. So not even knowing what you're doing, every time you fix something, every time you remodel, you're increasing the value. And that's a big home ownership advantage. Hope you learned something. If you're thinking about buying, whatever area you're in, feel free to direct message me. I will refer you to the proper lender and a proper realtor who can help you. I hope you have goals to buy a house. It's a great thing to do.